Hi guys, it's Courtney here. I am going to take you through the 21 Day Fix meal plan guide or eating plan guide today so that you are not confused about what you need to do in order to be successful with this program. I hope you're enjoying our boot camp and I hope you're already feeling more confident with the program. And now I'm just going to take you through the book. So I actually am going to access the book from Beachbody on Demand. And let me, okay. All right, so here we go. So I go into teambeachbody.com and then I go to Beachbody on Demand. And once I get in there, I actually have access to the book. So if I click on 21 Day Fix, and then on the side, I can go to 21 Day Fix. They have lots of tools here, but 21 Day Fix eating plan. All right, so when you open your box, you're going to get this book. And this book has 89 pages. And these are the most 89 pages that you are going to be reading for the duration of this program, right? You have to read the book from cover to cover. So there's a table of contents, which is awesome. After you read the book, you can come back to the table of contents if you were unclear about any parts and if you need some clarification. And it goes through an introduction. It explains like what goes in each container. And we're going to do a little bit of that in the group, but it tells you the green container, what it is, the purple symbols for the purple container. And then it tells you that it's time to get started. So this is a really important page. It's page 4 on my book. And it tells you that you need to do a calculation to determine what calorie group you are in, what calorie level you're in. So you do this calculation. And once you finish the calculation, you go to page, it's a few pages down. You go to, say your calculation brings you to 1,400 calories, you would go to this page, page 19, and you would see how many of each container you get for your calorie group. Now, if you're nursing, you need to add 500 calories. So if you fell in the 1,200 to 1,499 group, if you're nursing, you would move up to the next calorie group because you want to make sure that you have some extra calories in your diet so that it doesn't affect your milk supply. But you do the calculation and then you come to page 19 and you find out how many of each container you get, right? And now you're ready to start. You know exactly how much you can eat each day. Okay, so that's the number one big thing that you need to do. Then, so you did your calculation. It tells you on the second page to find the calorie chart. We did that. Okay, then you need to think about what goes in each one of these containers, right? So it takes you through, I'm sorry for scrolling so much. It goes through, if you scroll through a little bit, each container, and it tells you what goes in your green container, right? It lists all the foods. Now these foods are ordered from best choice to worst choice. So if you have kale in your green container all the time, or collard greens, or spinach, or Brussels sprouts, or broccoli, awesome, thumbs up. If you're eating things like onions, radishes, mushrooms, and that's what you're always putting in your green container, that's not the best choice. These are in best choice to worst choice. None of these choices are not okay, but you want to make sure that you're incorporating some of the foods at the top of the list. So your green container, and then it goes through your purple container, your fruit container, and the same thing. It goes through your red container. And it goes through all of the containers, and it tells you exactly what foods go in the containers. Now, here's my suggestion. For your first round, right, you're just starting out, if it's not on these food lists, don't eat it. You know, down the road, you can start to make some decisions, but at the beginning, just eat what's on these lists. Just stick to it. I'm telling you, you'll get better results if you do that. Okay? So I'm scrolling back because I'm going a little bit out of order, but you do your calculation, right? You determine what calorie group you're in. You look and see what goes in each container, and then you read the other information in the book. So there's some information in the book that talks to you about your yellow container, right, or spices. You can use any spices that you want. They are free foods. Then it talks about Beverages, like how do beverages work? How does it work with wine? Well, with wine, you can replace 3 yellow containers a week and you can have 3 glasses of wine. So that's a good swap. You can also do the same thing. You can swap out yellow containers like your carbs, and you can swap them out and have milk or have orange juice or even like some sort of like food treat. So the yellow container is your container that you use for swapping out and for having like extra special treats. Then it goes through hydration. It talks to you about how you should eat, how you should drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 162 pounds, you should be drinking 81 ounces of water a day. And for some people, that's really difficult. So if you don't like water, fancy it up. Add strawberries, add kiwi, add watermelon, give it a little bit of flavor. And that's all free. If you do those mix-ins, that's totally free. Talks about coffee and tea. What happens if you want to drink coffee and tea? Well, you can have coffee and tea, but when you think about what you're putting in your coffee and tea, you have to refer to this list. List A is no way, just say no. Don't put cream. Don't put half and half. Don't put non-dairy creamer. Don't put lots of sugar. But what you can put is you can put some non-fat milk. You can put a few teaspoons of raw sugar or honey or molasses. And you can totally go for things like adding cinnamon to your tea or lemon or pumpkin pie spice or nutmeg, anything like that. But I kind of live in this, the B list. I try to stick to some like low-fat milk or almond milk in my coffee, and then I add sugar to my coffee. So this is your no list, but these 2 lists you can work with it. So you are allowed to have coffee. Okay, so it talks to you about Shakeology. Like hopefully you're drinking Shakeology because Shakeology gives you some serious health benefits. 93% of people feel healthier drinking it. The biggest one for me, 81% of people say that it helps to reduce their cravings for junk food. So you definitely want to make sure that you're drinking your shake so that if, you come to week 2 and your body's like a little bit starting to get a little deficient in things, if you're drinking Shakeology, you're not going to get deficient because it's giving you all the nutrients that you need. All right, we already talked about the calorie chart. We talked about the containers and what goes in each container. Scrolling on through. Sometimes people ask why there are 2 orange containers. It's a mystery. It's seeds and dressing. So maybe you put some dressing in one and some seeds in the other. We're not sure. You have your teaspoons. You have your pure foods like mustards, vinegars, herbs, spices, garlic, ginger. These are all free. You can have as much of them as you want. And then it talks into your replacement food container groups. So it's all about the trades, right? If you want some regular milk, you can trade it for a yellow container. If you want some fresh fruit juice, you can trade it for a yellow container. Now, one thing that is incorrect in this book is it talks about unsweetened almond milk and how you have to trade it for a yellow container. That's actually not the case anymore. Autumn cleared that up. She said that you can have between 4 and 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk a day, and you don't have to count it. So it's considered a free food. So I'm going to say that again. Between 4 and 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk a day is counted as a free food. Then it talks about treats. Oh my gosh, you're craving something, right? You don't know why, but you have this like crazy craving for tortilla chips. Okay, you can have them. You have to use your yellow container, and they have to like fit in your yellow container. You want chocolate covered raisins? Okay, you can have them. You count them as a yellow container. All of these are counted as a yellow container, but you put the chocolate covered raisins in your orange container. Okay, so you can also have chocolate chips. They count as an entire yellow container, but you put them on a teaspoon. These are trades. You can trade your yellow container for things. Okay, then it goes through some recipes. What I can say is these seasonings, these all-purpose, smoky Southwestern, and Mediterranean seasonings, these are the seasonings that you should make. You should make these recipes for these seasonings, and you should have them on hand for your first 21 days. And you should use these seasonings to season your food because they have very different flavors, all 3 of these seasonings, and you will feel like you're eating different food even if you're just eating grilled chicken or grilled fish or grilled steak. So make these 3 seasoning concoctions. And then it takes you through some recipes for your containers. So some stir-fried veggies for your green container. It takes you through sauteed kale. It tells you how to hard boil eggs if you don't know how to. But it really like takes you through some recipes for the 21 Day Fix. And they're very simple recipes. And like I said at the beginning, you should be keeping this simple for your first 21 days. Do not start going on Pinterest and looking at recipes. Do not start going on my recipe page and Marissa's recipes page, Fixed Up Recipes, and getting all crafty and making lasagna. Don't do it. For the first 21 days, keep it simple. Have grilled chicken, have grilled steak, have grilled fish, have a vegetable, and have a carb with your dinner, and just keep your dinners very, 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 very simple. I'm telling you, you will stick with the program longer, you will lose more weight, you will feel happier. Just keep your first 21 days very, very, very simple. So it continues with the recipes. Then it goes, continues. Then it goes into salad dressings. These salad dressings are delicious. You put them into your orange container. You make a whole batch at a time. Like this one is 12 servings. I suggest that you make at least one salad dressing for each week. They are really, 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 really tasty, and they leave you feeling very satisfied. So definitely make salad dressing. Make one a week. Make a different one each week so that it's exciting. And then it gives you some treat recipes for some foods that you can make, like some bars if you're always on the run. Just simple things to grab and go. It gives you some Shakeology recipes. Marissa and I'll also give you some of those in our challenge group. And it just takes you through the entire program. Then it talks about, what do I do if I go out to dinner, right? Like, what do I have to starve myself? Do I have to sit at the table and not eat anything? The answer is no. If you go out to dinner, before you go, look at this list of foods that you can have when you go out to dinner. Look how you count them and plan accordingly. Go to a restaurant that serves chili, or go to a restaurant that serves burritos. Go to a Mexican restaurant, and it tells you exactly how you would count this type of burrito. Or go to an Italian restaurant and get pasta primavera, and it tells you this is how you would count this recipe at a restaurant. So you can go out to dinner and you can use this as a guide, or you could just get grilled protein, a very simple carb, and some vegetables. And then it just goes into some examples of, what a day, to try to show you how it could be really simple, like what a day could look like. You would choose one of these options for breakfast. You would have this for a snack. You would choose one of these options for lunch, and then you would choose some things for snack and for dinner. And if you look, with the way that they have it set up is they say, okay, so for breakfast, you should have a protein, you should have a carb, and you should have fruit. And for a snack, you should have a protein and you should have a teaspoon. And for lunch, you should have a protein, you should have a vegetable, and you should have another carb. And then it talks about dinner, you should have a protein and you should have vegetables. So you could technically set yourself up like that as well. Planning is a big thing with the 21 Day Fix. If you don't plan, you will likely fail. And I'd say my biggest suggestion is, if you're joining a challenge group with Marissa and I, definitely use our clickable meal planning sheets. They're awesome. You can type on them. They have drop-down menus with all of the foods listed. People report that they really help them. We have lots of different meal planning sheets. So definitely use one of our meal planning sheets to help you stay on track. All right, so this is your book. Your homework is to actually read the entire book from cover to cover and tell me 3 pieces of information that you found in this post, okay? Hope this helped.